The Akron Zoo is a 50-acre nonprofit zoo located just west of downtown Akron, Ohio. It has 1,000 animals representing over 100 different species. The animal exhibits are separated into 6 different themed areas. The zoo is the most visited attraction in Summit County. First, we go to the Legends of the Wild area of the zoo. The Akron Zoo has Humboldt penguins. Humboldt penguins are warm weather penguins. They have naked faces since they don't have to worry about frostbite in the wild. As these penguins swim, they blend into the sky from below and the water from above, confusing predators. In the next building, there are lemurs. Lemurs are part of the primate family. Primates have grasping hands or feet, flattened fingernails instead of claws. They have the ability to walk on 2 feet, enlarged cerebral cortex, which is the thought center of the brain. They have forward-facing eyes, and they are highly social. Lemurs communicate in different ways. They make different sounds, such as barks, purrs, and grunts, leave smells behind, and even stare each other down. Alpacas will hum to each other to communicate their location and state of well-being, and they are native to the Andes Mountains in Peru, South America. Andean condors have a great sense of smell, and if you look closely, you can see straight through their nostrils. Obviously, I was not close enough. Condors have bald heads, and since they eat rotting meat, this helps keep them clean. They are from Venezuela, Colombia, and Peru. Andean condors' conservation status is near threatened, and the Akron Zoo is a breeding facility for this species. Jaguars rely on stealth rather than speed to catch their food. This jaguar is a female, and she is very food-oriented, I was told. She is by her door because she can hear her keepers in there cleaning her home, and she is hoping for some handouts. Jaguars are the largest cat species in the Americas and the 3rd largest in the world. They are listed as near threatened due to habitat loss, poaching, and human-wildlife contact. The jaguar features prominently in the mythology of indigenous people of the Americas, including those of the Mayan and Aztec civilizations, which is what you see depicted around the jaguar's area. Capybaras look like giant guinea pigs. They actually are related to guinea pigs. This capybara was sleeping. They really are giant cavy rodents, native to South America. They are the largest living rodent and inhabit savannas, dense forests, and live near bodies of water. They are highly social and can be found in groups as large as 100, but more commonly live in family groups of 10 to 20. Isn't he cute? This is the cave-dwelling rat snake. It is found in Thailand and Malaysia. It lives in caves and feeds primarily on bats. Now here is one of my favorite animals, fruit bats. These guys are often hunted because they damage crops, but in reality they are also needed for crops. They pollinate flowers and spread seeds. These little guys are African straw-colored fruit bats. They are highly social species. They travel in massive colonies of at least 100,000 bats, and sometimes as big as 1,000,000. Fruit bats squeeze fruit in their mouths and suck out the juice. Also here are Seba's bats. They are found in Central and South America. Their main diet is fruit nectar, pollen, and occasionally insects. Did you know that bat wings are made of thin skin between their finger bones? The skin also stretches to their feet and tail. And their wings aren't only used for flying. They can also be a warm blanket and a dark disguise. The snow leopard was right by the window, so unfortunately there is glare. Sorry. They can hiss, growl, and purr, but they cannot roar. Snow leopards live in Central and South Asia. They are listed as vulnerable due to poaching and habitat destruction. They live in subalpine and alpine habitats. They typically are solitary, though their ranges may overlap. Snow leopards generally live 15 to 18 years in the wild and can live up to 25 years in captivity. Flamingos are capable flyers, and flamingos in captivity must have their wings clipped. Young flamingos hatch with grayish-red plumage, but adults range from light pink to dark red due to aqueous bacteria and beta-carotene obtained from their food supply. A well-fed, healthy flamingo is more vibrantly colored, thus a more desirable mate. Next, we go to the Komodo Kingdom. It is an indoor exhibit. And first up is the mountain chicken frog. He's huge, isn't he? He's considered critically endangered. Once found throughout the eastern Caribbean, now they are only found on 2 islands. Population decline is due to the habitat destruction, disease, and overhunting by humans for their legs. This is the Komodo Dragon. They are considered cannibalistic carnivores, meaning they will eat anything they can catch, including smaller Komodo dragons. Komodos only need to eat 1 big meal every month, and when they do eat, they eat fast. They can consume 80% of their weight at one time. They have 60 serrated teeth, like a shark's, that tear through flesh. That's not all. Komodos have deadly saliva. A single bite causes lethal infection. Midas cichlids are from Central America. They eat snails, mollusks, algae, and insects. Also in this tank is the yellow-spotted Amazon river turtle. They live in northern South America and eat fruit, weeds, fish, and small invertebrates. This is the freshwater stingray. It is from a watershed of northern and central South America. Its diet consists of mollusks, worms, crustaceans, fish, and clams. Galapagos tortoise. I also like these guys. I think they're pretty cute. Tortoises lay their eggs between June and December. They lay anywhere between 2 and 20 tennis ball-sized eggs. The female then covers them up and leaves them to incubate for 4 to 8 months. When the eggs hatch, some of the babies take as long as a month to dig out of the nest. See how slow he moves? That's why it takes the babies so long. The next area of the zoo is the Curious Creatures exhibit. This area is inside the Komodo Kingdom and features animals and plants that have amazing adaptations for survival. These are my very favorite animals in the entire zoo. Do you know what they are? They are naked mole rats. If you saw my video for the Cleveland Zoo, Akron has a much better setup for these guys. They are eusocial, meaning there is one female who acts as the queen. 1 to 3 males reproduce, while the rest of the colony functions as workers. Naked mole rats are well adapted to the underground living. Their eyes are quite small, their legs are thin and short, yet highly adept at moving underground, and can move backward as fast as they can move forward. Their large protruding teeth are used to dig, and their lips are sealed just behind their teeth, preventing soil filling their mouths while digging. Naked mole rats are well adapted to the limited availability of oxygen within the tunnels of its typical habitat. The electric eel is found in murky streams and ponds of the Amazon in South America. They have modified muscle or nerve cells called electrocytes that function as batteries and make electricity. They can release 600 volts at one time to stun or kill their prey. That is 5 times the amount of electricity from an average electric socket. They are not technically eels, but more closely related to carp and catfish. The spotted turtle lives in wetlands around the eastern seaboard and around the Great Lakes. Both female turtles in this exhibit were successfully bred as part of a captive breeding program. Here are my other favorite animals, leafcutter ants. I know it seems strange, but these guys are really cool. Look how well they work together. Next to humans, these guys form some of the largest and most complex animal societies on Earth. They have an actual social system of workers, soldiers, and minims. The workers harvest leaves for the colony. The soldiers protect the colony from attack. The minims grow fungus and care for the queen and babies. The cut leaves are not their food. The leaves are used to grow fungus, which they eat. Pacific sea nettle jellyfish can range from coastal waters of California and Oregon, north to Gulf of Alaska, west to Japan, and south to the Baja Peninsula. They can sense light and will migrate daily. They move to deeper and darker waters during the night and go towards shallower waters during the day. Pacific sea nettle act as a raft for other sea creatures. Small fish will ride with them along their belly. Moon jellyfish can be found all around the world. They are transparent and shaped like a mushroom. When light hits their body, they look like a full moon. Moon jellyfish do not have a brain. Their central sensoring system helps them find prey. The Curious Creatures exhibit is for plants and animals with unique adaptations for survival. Here are some Venus flytraps and pitcher plants. All are carnivorous. The flamboyant flower beetle is found in Central Africa. The male has a Y-shaped horn to help it fight other males. The female has a shovel-like tusk to help it dig in decaying wood when laying eggs. The next area we went to was Wild Asia. The first animal there was the Sumatran tiger, who was being a bit of a rascal that day. This tiger had walked up the people staircase and was on the roof of the enclosure. Don't worry, he wasn't in any danger, and the keepers were on it. The Sumatran tiger is critically endangered. They are one of the smallest tigers. Major threats include habitat loss, prey base depletion, and illegal trade. The white-cheeked gibbons were hanging out waiting for training. They had about a half an hour until it was time, and they were definitely not going to miss out. The male is the black one, and the female is the tan. She is about 4.5 months pregnant. Groups of white-cheeked gibbons form monogamous pairs and raise families together. Their detailed language includes loud songs and whispers or who calls. With distinct who calls, they can communicate a variety of information to family members. White-cheeked gibbons are considered critically endangered. The red panda was very uncooperative that day, so I will be quick here. Here is the red panda. Despite its name, it is not related to the giant panda. You can't tell by looking, but it is roughly the size of a domestic cat, though with a longer body. They are largely sedentary through the day, which you can see, and are considered endangered. At various places around the zoo, you see cute little animal footprints. The next area is Grizzly Ridge. This was the biggest expansion in the zoo's history in 2013. Unfortunately, this day, the 45-foot aviary of native birds was closed. But here is the bald eagle. Bald eagles were on the brink of extinction in the early 1970s because of DDT. Thankfully, it was banned in the U.S., and with a little help from people, eagle populations have increased. Eagles are powerful predators and have excellent eyesight. They can see prey as far as 2 miles away. Next were the otters. This is the best otter setup I have ever seen. Unfortunately, it didn't photograph too well, so I will try to explain. The kids have a tube slide that goes right through the otter pool. So as the kids slide through, the otters swim around the tube. Next are the grizzly bears. They were very sleepy that day. We were unable to see them from the first vantage point and are catching them from the second. They aren't much to look at here, but seeing as how the ridge is named after them, I figured I should show them. The red wolf was sleepy too. Red wolves are mostly nocturnal, so it has an excuse. The reddish fur along their neck and behind their ears helps distinguish them from their large gray wolf cousins. The red wolf is considered the world's most endangered canine. The coyote looks similar to the red wolf, but there are some differences. Red wolves are brown and buff colored, with some black along their backs. They may have red along their ears, on their muzzle or legs. Coyotes are light gray with some black on the tips of their hairs. Red wolves are larger than coyotes. Red wolves are 4.5 to 5.5 feet long and weigh 50 to 80 pounds. Coyotes are 3 to 4 feet long and weigh 24 to 40 pounds. Red wolves are more massive through their head and chest area than coyotes. Coyotes have a thinner muzzle than red wolves. The eastern screech owl. These little screech owls are so tiny, about the size of a pop can. They just kind of were hanging out. After all, it was daytime. Next, we head into the Pride of Africa. This expansion was completed in 2019. We started at the goat petting zoo. Who doesn't love petting goats? They are always so happy to see you. Now we are at the Spix gazelle, white storks, and crested guinea fowl habitat. The Spix gazelle is the smallest gazelle species. It is confined to the Horn of Africa, where it inhabits stony brush, grass, steppes, and semi-deserts. Its numbers are under threat and it is now considered endangered. There are also white storks here. The white stork is a carnivore. It eats a wide range of prey, including insects, fish, amphibians, reptiles, small mammals, and small birds. It is a monogamous breeder, but does not mate for life. If you look closely, you will also see crested guinea fowl. They are the dark birds. They are the cleanup crew. They are monogamous with probable strong and long-lasting pair bonds. The last animal in this area is the lion. He wasn't very cooperative or just was very tired. I did get a nice picture of his backside. The zoo has a pretty large garden area. There is an entire area left completely natural that had quite a few butterflies. We did find this butterfly that had just come out of its chrysalis. This is also where the barn owl is. Barn owls are the most widely distributed species in the world, yet this is the first time I've ever seen one in real life. The zoo is getting ready for the annual festival Boo at the Zoo. You can dress your child in their costume for this non-scary event. Bring your own bag or bucket and collect treats from 12 themed treat stations. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell.